More than 190 Stellantis employees at the Sterling Heights assembly plant are being laid off. The vast majority are seasonal supplemental employees originally hired to cover summer vacation vacancies. Carlos Tavares just made a huge announcement about Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, sparking both concern and curiosity within the automotive industry. Stellantis, the parent company of these brands and more like Fiat and Maserati, is facing a tough time. It's almost as if we're witnessing the end for these iconic brands. But how did we get here? These were supposed to be legendary automakers by now, right? Is this the end? The difficulties they're dealing with have stirred up significant worries about the future of the entire automotive industry. These brands, all part of the Stellantis family, aren't just facing external pressures. They've been dealing with internal issues, too. It seems like every move they make is plagued by bad decisions piling up on one another. But let's be clear, this situation goes beyond mere missteps. So what's really happening behind the scenes? One thing you need to understand is that the challenges Stellantis is grappling with are a reflection of a much larger trend rippling through the market. And guess what? It's us, the customers, who are going to bear the brunt of it all. As we take a closer look, it's clear that we're staring at a fundamental shift in the automotive landscape. It's not just about this one company or its brands. It's a signal that something bigger and more systemic is at play. This prolonged struggle undermines consumer confidence and ultimately loyalty to those brands we've come to know and love. It raises many questions about the direction these manufacturers will take next. How can they recover? What's the plan moving forward? The answers to these questions could shape the future of automotive options for us as consumers in the years to come. For now, Tavares has emphasized that Stellantis is re-evaluating its strategy for these brands amidst declining sales and rising production costs. The company is also facing criticism for increasing vehicle prices. But before we get into the details, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out. The numbers don't lie. The current landscape for Stellantis brands is rather shocking and deserves your attention. Over the last 5 years, sales for Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler have taken a nosedive, with a decline of 39%. Dodge sales have plummeted a staggering 67% since hitting their peak in 2013. Jeep hasn't had an easy ride either, suffering a 44% decrease from its peak in 2018, with only 642,924 vehicles sold in 2023. Those numbers haven't been this low in over a decade. So what does this mean for the industry? The repercussions of the sales slump are impossible to overlook. Dealerships are feeling the heat as buyers turn to more attractive options. The excitement that once surrounded new vehicle launches has faded, leaving many would-be buyers feeling uninspired and ready to explore alternatives. Stellantis is practically drowning in unsold cars. Reports from March 2024 reveal that they have 1.4 million new vehicles sitting in their inventory. What caused this mess? A significant factor was production adjustments made while dealing with previous supply chain issues. Initially, they ramped up inventory, but as sales dropped and market dynamics shifted, they were left with an overwhelming amount of product that's nearly impossible to move. Most of these vehicles are outdated models that have lost their appeal and don't align with what today's consumers desire, especially in hot segments like mid-size SUVs. Stellantis brands are showing shockingly high day supply numbers, indicating that cars are stuck on dealership lots longer than the industry finds acceptable. How did Stellantis end up here? According to the Stellantis National Dealer Council, the blame largely falls on CEO Carlos Tavares. Dealers are pointing to his short-term decision-making as a major contributor to the company's declining market share and diminishing dealer revenues. In a letter dated September 10, 2024, the Dealer Council expressed that Tavares' approach appears focused more on immediate financial gains than on fostering long-term growth. Although his strategies may have provided a brief profit boost, dealers are protesting that this short-sighted view is causing severe damage to brand equity and market positioning. The Council's warning: if things keep going in this direction, disaster is on the horizon, and they believe we're already seeing this prediction come to fruition. Dealers feel increasingly isolated as they confront mounting challenges with insufficient support from Stellantis. They criticize the company for recent choices to cut marketing budgets and alter compensation structures, which they argue are hurting dealer profitability. Many dealers find themselves burdened with unsold vehicles, leading to financial strain and dissatisfaction across the dealer network. The council emphasized that Tavares' cost-cutting measures, though designed to enhance profits, are backfiring. Tying dealer compensation to vehicle shipments rather than actual sales has left many dealers in dire financial straits. Layoffs and plant closures add to concerns about the stability of Stellantis operations. North America for the long haul. So, what's really going on behind the curtain? Let's break it down to understand the main hurdles they face. There are 3 significant challenges at play here. Let's break them down one by one. Market versus Stellantis. Look, whether you like it or not, in order to make a sale, you need to listen to the people, right? So, what did Stellantis do? Well, it is a bit wild. First, there's the troubling shift away from traditional engines. This topic is hot and controversial, my friends. Stellantis is making waves with their new Hurricane twin-turbo inline-6 engine, which seeks to phase out the beloved traditional V8 engines in several models. Promoted as a tech marvel, this new engine claims to offer better fuel economy and lower emissions while still pumping out power comparable to those revered V8s. Sounds exciting, right? But hold on to your hats. Not everyone is ready to embrace this change. Both dealers and consumers are expressing significant concerns. Take a moment to consider the feelings of those loyal to Dodge and Ram. These longtime enthusiasts love the muscle and power of V8 engines. Naturally, they're skeptical about moving towards turbocharged 6-cylinder engines. They worry that this shift might diminish the exhilarating driving experience they've come to expect. When you think of Dodge or Ram, what's the first word that comes to mind? Muscle, power. It's part of their identity. Next, let's analyze the broader market reaction to this major shift. The Hurricane engine represents more than just a routine innovation. It's woven into Stellantis's larger strategy to enhance fuel efficiency and significantly cut carbon emissions. However, here's the kicker. The acceptance of this change among consumers is far from guaranteed, especially given that traditional performance is still highly valued. Will consumers warm up to this new technology, or will nostalgia for their roaring V8s hold them back? The ongoing debate about performance versus efficiency is another layer to this conversation. The Hurricane engine is crafted to strike a balance, featuring low-inertia turbochargers for speedy throttle responsiveness and cutting-edge fuel injection technology for optimum efficiency. But some critics argue that this transition could alienate dedicated buyers who remain loyal to that classic V8 experience. This disconnect has already begun to impact sales significantly, as potential buyers compare options with rivals still offering those powerful V8s. But that is not the only thing that is causing Stellantis to lose sales, which brings me to the next factor that got them here in the first place: poor strategies. Stellantis is lagging behind its competition when it comes to adapting its spending on incentives, and this is an important issue. While rival car manufacturers are ramping up discounts and enticing finance options to accelerate sales, Stellantis has held back in their promotional efforts. This conservative approach has placed their dealers at a serious disadvantage, making them feel sidelined in this competitive marketplace.